Good afternoon, everyone. Here is our latest video update on the newest tropical cyclone, Tropical Storm Bopha, out here in the western Pacific, the 24th named cyclone by the Japan Meteorological Agency of this 2012 Pacific typhoon season. The average is right around 25 or so named cyclones yearly, so definitely on top to having a normal normal number of activity out here in the western Pacific. And again, the latest storm that we have is Bopha, which has formed near the Caroline Islands, particularly near the island of Pohnpei. The system was last located approximately 410 kilometers southwest of that island, or about 520 kilometers southeast of Chuuk. Pohnpei is right around here, and Chuuk is somewhere over here, those tiny islands here, a part of the Federated States of Micronesia out here in the western Pacific. So small islands and a group of atolls dotting the Pacific Ocean, south of Guam as well. System is a tropical storm, minimal tropical storm as of this time, 65 km/h sustained winds with gusts of up to 95 kph. It is moving very slowly here, west-northwest at 2 km/h. Very slow moving system. It has actually stayed in this region for at least 48 hours now since its inception as a weak depression. Has been bringing lots of heavy rains in this region as well. In fact, an atoll located southwest of Pohnpei, very near the center of circulation, has recorded nearly 100 millimeters of rainfall in the past 24 hours. And because of the proximity of this storm in the islands and atolls in this region, the National Weather Service out in Guam, which has jurisdiction in this region, has issued numerous tropical storm warnings and tropical storm watches for this area. So you can head out to National Weather Service Guam. Their link is on our description below for a more detailed forecast and warnings in the area. Now, looking at the system itself here in the visible satellite image, it's still very disorganized, at least still in the early stages of development. A very minimal tropical storm. Convective activity continues to increase though, and we're seeing this some sort of a central dense overcast, at least cold convective cover, as what the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is calling it, forming and developing over that low-level circulation center. Now, this system is in an area of very favorable conditions, very favorable wind shear, and also sea surface temperatures definitely warm enough. So we are definitely expecting continued intensification by this system. In fact, most of the agencies are forecasting a typhoon as early as perhaps Thursday or even Friday, as the system moves westward across the western Pacific. As I said before, the only affected areas as of right now are the small islands and atolls out here in the states of Micronesia. That could definitely change as we head into the latter part of this week and into the next week. The system is forecast to continue moving westward. You can see in this widespread view of the western Pacific Basin the satellite from the Naval Research Lab, showing the proximity of the islands here, and also how far the system really is from the Philippines, from Guam, from Palau. So still lots of real estate, so to speak, for the system to traverse to really impact any sort of really populated areas. And definitely more time for intensification, which could be very serious as we move into the week. And as for the forecast track itself, the system is tracking generally westward along a deep layered subtropical ridge out here in the western Pacific. You can see most of the computer models forecasting a westward track for at least 2 to 3 days, passing just south of Chuuk by tomorrow as a tropical storm, and passing well south of Guam by either Thursday or Friday, intensifying perhaps to a typhoon, a Category 1 typhoon by as early as Thursday evening, or by Friday continues to perhaps become much stronger as we head into the week. And as we head into say day 4, day 5, and day 6, you can see some most of the computer models diverge here in terms of the track. You can see this red line here from the GFS model taking this system, recurving it to the north and eventually northeast. Some of the computer models, such as the NOGOPS and also the CMC model, taking a more southerly track, a more westward track, perhaps threatening parts of the Philippine Islands as we move into the early part of next week. The European model, which is not shown here, is also forecasting a track generally westward and then recurving to the north, much like the GFS model. Now there are the main differences here, I think, from the computer model depictions due to the handling of the storm's strength. The GFS intensifies Bopha much rather quickly in the next 3 days, again becoming a typhoon as early as Thursday and Friday, so allowing the system to recurve much more to the north. Now some of the computer models, such as the NOGOPS, are keeping the system weak enough so that it tracks more to the west, potentially impacting the Philippine Islands. Obviously this is still very far away. Look, we're talking about 5-6 days from now. Definitely lots of things can change, but what we do know is that the general scenario that could play out is the system will continue to keep tracking westward, but then a deep trough will move in across Eastern Asia perhaps by Monday or Tuesday. Now, depending on the strength of the system, depending on the location of the system, how far north by that time, we could either see a recurve to the north, avoiding the Philippines, or perhaps see a straight runner, perhaps a direct impact to the Philippine Islands in the early part of next week. But as of right now, again, the forecasts from the official agencies do point on a generally westward track in the next few days here, again passing just south of Chuuk. You can see in this latest National Weather Service track here. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center also showing that westward track, perhaps moving slightly west-northwestward as you move into the weekend. You can also see islands of Yap and Palau all under that cone of uncertainty and could very well be impacted by this system, not just a tropical storm, perhaps even typhoon force winds, as the system is forecast to intensify at that level. Now looking at the Japan Meteorological Agency's 5-day forecast, also showing nearly the same idea here as what we've been talking the past few minutes here of a generally westward track, and perhaps start turning more to the west-northwest by Friday, Saturday and Sunday, perhaps again setting its sights on the islands here in Palau and Yap. This system will be moving well south of Guam, so not really impact in that region as of right. Again, still far away. Anything can change here. You could see major shifts north or south, left or right, so continue to definitely keep monitoring this system, especially if you are in these islands we have mentioned. Also, if you are in the Philippines, as this could potentially impact your weather as you move into the part of next week.